Welcome to the zombie apocalypse. I've invited the members of my Discord to join me in this apocalyptic scenario. The way it works is simple. The moment somebody dies, they turn into a zombie, and it becomes their job to kill all the remaining survivors and end the run. I did this once before with my fellow content creators, but today I opened the floodgates to a bunch of my viewers, so we'll have to see who comes out on top when the world is filled with a bunch of randos. Zombies win if everybody gets zombified, and survivors win if the wall of fresh is slain. Being the host, people were already hanging around me and stealing all my wood, which isn't making things easier for my own survival. We're playing on a small world, and everybody got starting max health and mana just because I didn't trust my viewers to not be massacred 2 seconds after starting. So this will hopefully prevent the zombie horde from forming just yet and make it an actual, event, giving people a chance to progress, Oh, Crimson. Oh, they're bringing face monsters over. No, save them.
Run.
Save them. Hyper, no.
Run for your life.
Hyper. Me and a group decided to not brave the Crimson and dug under the dirt to start collecting some materials. We made some starting wooden gear, and then I did a big brain move by mobilizing our units to creating a tunnel just underneath the surface that'll allow us to collect some extra wood. Once zombies start spawning, it can be hard to return to the surface, so collecting as much wood as possible now can be a lifesaver in the future. I managed to snag a treasure chest out from the noses of my viewers, and despite not having many torches to our name, one person did find a shine potion, and so we have an easier time with mining around the Crimson. It was a bit of a mistake mining down in the Crimson though, as we had to keep going around the Crimson blocks, and the enemies could be an issue if we weren't careful. Hold up. For some reason, we decided we still wanted to mine down in the Crimson rather than reset in a different mining location, so we snuck our way down and were attacked by an unexpected foe. Oh no! Slime. Dude, imagine that one slime clears all of us. Okay, that was a bit of an overreaction between all of us. That slime was an easy kill, but I had also forgotten we started with 500 health, so the slime really wasn't much of a threat at all, really. This was when we hit more Crimson blocks and decided to abandon this cave in favor of one that's, not a Crimson, and that's when we noticed our first casualty. A player named Pink had died, but apparently they were slain by another player named Mudkip. There's no way it was friendly fire because, well, it wasn't bombs. You can only hurt yourself with your own bombs, and teams are forced, so they didn't do it with a PvP match or anything. Guess we missed when Pink first died, and Mudkip had to fend them off. This is why I gave everybody 500 health to start. I knew it wouldn't be long before our first zombie appeared and, well, became a menace. By the looks of it, there may have been other deaths as well, and one of them was somebody who apparently thought they'd join with a hardcore character, so they were a ghost and not a zombie. Not very helpful for this event, but okay, guess we have a ghost friend now. Anyways, we started mining towards the spawn to hopefully save Cinnamon Burger, we gotta save him! But they died soon after at the hands of the vicious zombie, Pink. It would sure seem that there are several zombies wandering around at this point, which isn't great. Rescue mission failed, we continued mining into a cave that was just to the left of spawn. This will lead us to a much smoother path into the underground. I love how we just are going to have this ghost following us.
I know, it's
I mean, it's neat, I guess. It's chill.
Yeah, it's
pretty chill of him to not try and kill us like normal ghosts do.
Our ghost was a good friend, and after the several deaths we've seen, and I suspect we've had, I checked the map to see who was still around. Well, we got people pretty spread out. Assorted? Assorted's already in full Assorted! This is...
What?
If you look at the map, you can see Assorted. He's got his full jungle armor. That guy...
That
guy is busted. He's too good at the game.
How does he have jungle helmets?
Assorted has joined other events of mine. This guy is basically a speedrunner, so zombies are going to want to kill him as dead as soon as possible, and survivors are going to want to protect him. He's the one who's going to determine who wins. Our group continued gathering ores, but our friend Cinnamon Burger, who we had tried to save, appeared. Oh, zombie! Guys, zombie!
Hey, zombie!
Get him!
Kill, attack!
Gang up on him! He's got a pickaxe.
No, never mind, that's not the one.
Murder!
Get it? There we go, alright.
Okay, got him. Get over here.
We have survived our first zombie encounter. Granted, they only had a copper pickaxe, it would seem kind of sad, but this is the group: Jazzcub, Moses, Tack, and Firelash, well, and myself. Believe it or not, we were actually functioning as a team. I know, it's rare on the internet. Now, when you have to rush into the cave so early in the game, you got to collect anything you can in any way you can, including breaking pots for handy items like glow sticks and bombs. There's plenty of ores to mine, and with a group as large as ours, we're going to need half the world's resources for armor or any of these precious metal or armors, whatever. As we mined, somebody broke a Crimson Heart, which I thought wasn't a good sign because the Goblin army can probably spawn now. I thought it might have been a foolish mistake by a survivor seeking early game gear, but it's equally as possible that the zombies broke it with reckless abandon. And that's exactly who it must have been because the brain spawned soon after.
Oh, it was the zombies doing it.
You wanna watch them?
That makes sense.
Oh, no, it is zombies. It is zombies, yeah.
Yep. Oh, guys, that is so close. Close indeed, which has me thinking up a rather devious plan. If we wanted, we could theoretically sneak over there as it gets low on health, and then get in a few cheap shots and get some free loot.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of like this idea. We could sneak over there. They won't know we're coming. So we start mining our way to the brain. See, zombies are immune to enemies, and so they can kill a boss without even needing to try. This is a great strategy for them to get Crimtane equipment and, well, just better gear than the rest of us very early. This is an expert mode world too, so there will be plenty of treasure bags for them to pick up, and the boss should only scale to the number of living players. So it won't necessarily take them, well, the rest of the entire run to kill the thing. But if we can sneak into the boss arena or harm the boss in any way, then we can snag a treasure bag for ourselves. We don't need to stick around and finish the fight. Just poke it once, run away, and later return for our bounty. We put in an effort, but couldn't mine nearly fast enough, and now we were in earshot of the other zombies, so we spoke softly as we retreated back to where I spotted something that is very helpful. Guys, wait, skeleton merchant, skeleton merchant, skeleton merchant. We went around to say hello, but turns out the short time we spent with him off screen was enough for the merchant to wander off into the darkness. He would have been great for buying torches and other basic supplies that were sorely lacking, but I guess we'll have to make do. Once again, we're about to head deeper, but then they started breaking hearts again. Wait a minute. This means that this time, maybe we could sneak in and get a hit on the brain. This is our chance. We rushed to the tunnel, we mined, and soon enough, the brain's creepers were attacking me. Not sure if they count as hitting the boss, but that doesn't matter as I'm almost killed and have to retreat to the surface at night. Moments later, and the zombie mudkip appears at spawn, armed with a rotten fork. I am toast. But then he teleports away. He didn't notice me. I'm safe. But then I decided to wander on over to the Crimson area. I was looking to farm some of the enemies because I have a wormhole potion which I can use for a quick escape, and the enemies can drop maybe some useful materials. I was quickly surrounded by more enemies than I could realistically handle when something truly tragic happened. Somebody came to the rescue.
Support has arrived!
Ah! Might not have been a good idea.
Hey, I will come. I will die with you.
Oh no.
I will live and die with you.
I'm getting out of here. Hey, Assorted. Does abandoning one of the 5 make me a bad person? Maybe. He came to help me, and I just left Jazzcub to perish on his own. But I never thought anyone would teleport to me. I didn't ask for help. It was his own fault. Heart heavy with the burden of carrying the death on my shoulders, I returned to the remaining 3. Our group of 5 reduced to 4. We carry on, promising to remember our fallen comrade who must be left behind. Or at least, that was the idea.
My one and only friend left me for dead. I will get revenge.
Oh, he's alive. Or, I mean, well, dead, but well, that's kind of sad. Moving on, I got a gravitation potion, and it's probably a long shot, thinking nobody has looted the Sky Islands already, but I figured I'd give it a shot.
Well, I'm glad people.
Bye. And so I floated around checking island after island, but every single one had already been wiped clean. Truly a sad state of affairs, so I guess I'll return to the group. Hello.
Hey, welcome back. We lost somebody because a zombie had the Crimson Sword.
Well, the group of 5 has now been chipped down to 3. We're doing great. We lost Tack, and now it's only me, Moses, and Firelash. So long, our fallen comrades. We will carry on your legacies by trying to not die, and one step towards that goal is mining a bunch of these gems here for the sake of crafting hooks. We set up our crafting stations really quick to take advantage of whatever we could, and then box the nymph into, well, dirt for the money that she drops and metal detector. The accessory itself isn't the most helpful thing in the world, but it could have a modifier which would be quite a help. I didn't get the metal detector, so I'm not sure if it did have a modifier or not, but we moved on to a glowing mushroom biome where I was able to pick up a cloud in a bottle, which definitely makes me one of the more mobile people in the world in all likelihood. I just need Hermes boots and then I'll really be moving. This glowing mushroom is a little close to the underworld, which we don't think we're ready for, so we headed up a bit, but as we did, we could hear the sound of somebody mining to our right. But nobody on the survivors team was nearby, so that means a zombie must be close. We fell silent immediately. I jump on a lava trap, but block it before it pours into the cave and causes a problem. We hurry through the stone-covered caves with 2 people mining and 1 person replacing the blocks behind us to mask our escape. We keep torches to a minimum, not placing any of them down and only bringing them out when absolutely necessary. After a few minutes of fleeing in the opposite direction of the sounds, we could no longer hear anyone mining in the vicinity. We breathe a sigh of relief. We are safe. For now. I collect an extractinator from a golden chest, and Moses trips a lava trap and just sits around while it falls on his head up until, well, the very last second, so I guess it didn't hit his head. But then he starts building a bridge near it and gets his feet burned off. No idea what Moses was thinking, but I guess he's alive, so it's fine. We continue mining for quite a long time, but while we did that, remember Assorted, the guy who had jungle armor super early in the game? Well, the ice spawned, presumably by the zombies, and not long after, there was a long list of names of players being killed by Assorted who apparently had the volcano. Single-handedly, Assorted cleared several zombies, and the Eye Cthulhu died right after. This guy, he is already way too powerful. If he can take out all of those zombies just like that, we might have this in the bag just because Assorted will carry us to victory. Back to what we're doing though. We found the skeleton merchant again, but this time he didn't despawn on us, which allowed us to purchase many of the basic supplies that we were either missing or running quite low on. This guy is always so helpful for the more hardcore events. If you don't want to die, he's your best friend. Yo-yo run, best friend. Any other run, and you probably couldn't care less unless you want an artisan loaf. Now, one thing I feel like I should mention is that this mod adds a few custom items that can help either zombies or the survivors, like a people finder for the zombies, a special pickaxe and cloak for the survivors, whose use I'll let you find out on your own. The only problem is that the people finder requires rotten chunks, and we forgot to add vertebrae as an alternate recipe, and so the item was uncraftable in a Crimson world. And all the survivor related items require zombie parts that only drop from naturally spawning zombies, and since we're all underground most of the time, we didn't hardly get any of these. So there are some interesting items that I think have some fun use cases. We just didn't get any, and the zombies were struggling a bit with finding people at this point, which would have been easier if the people finder recipe hadn't been goofed. Anyways, we had managed to connect with this person called Zilly. By the looks of it, they have next to no gear, and from what we heard, his entire team was killed earlier in the run, and he's been surviving all on his own. We set up a temporary base to help gear Zilly up, as well as craft a few things for ourselves. He did get a snowball launcher though, which I guess he's got that going for him. He was also collecting yo-yo accessories and didn't actually have a yo-yo to go with any of the equipment somehow. Temporary base suddenly turned into a more full-blown one, bed and all. I even put down the extractinator for some of that free ore. One thing about bases that we were sure to bear in mind while making this thing is that if the room with the bed becomes suitable for whatever reason, an NPC might move in, and that could expose our base's location to the entire world. So we were sure to prevent it from being suitable to protect our new home in the underworld layer of the caverns. Most of the treasure and what have you is likely a little higher up in the world, so we started mining that way. But there was a second reason. By the sounds of it, Assorted and another player with good gear called Mini Toast are seemingly interested in fighting Skeletron. As our base is somewhat near the dungeon, we figured we'd mine up to join in the battle. But of course, mining all the way out the world takes, well, quite a long time, and since I have at least 2 wormhole potions on hand, when they summoned the boss, I figured I'd join them right away to help ensure our victory and claim my very first boss treasure bag. Let's go! Turns out some joker also spawned the Eye Cthulhu, so we have to fight both of these bosses now. Assorted and Mini Toast are absolutely decked out with Hellstone gear, so these two are just busted, while I'm over here pitching in as best as I can, but I think I helped and didn't suffer from severe skill issue. Zilly also joined at the last second. He still has 0 gear, but he survived and was able to claim at least one of the boss treasure bags, so good on him, I guess. But Skeletron fell, and so we had access to the dungeon, and I thought I'd try to keep up with Assorted. Assorted, how are you so fast? This guy is crazy, but I more or less kept up with him the entire time, and for the first time in forever, I found myself actually using the bone glove drop from Skeletron, and it's actually not that bad. I probably still wouldn't use it during a regular run, but when you have just about no accessories, anything is better than nothing. The same also goes for the Book of Skulls I got from Skeletron. This is actually a decent mage weapon, but I also hardly ever use it. While we're down here, there's a few things that we're looking for. We want golden keys, of course, so we can actually open up the locked chest down here. A shadow key from these would also be great for accessing the shadow chest in the underworld, which will have some of the strongest weapons available in pre-hard mode. The problem is, though, that there don't seem to be any golden keys dropping, but perhaps a bigger problem, or I guess not a problem as much as a reason for confusion, is how none of the zombies have shown up. It's been night for a while, so the zombies should be able to travel unhindered, but none of them have appeared to interfere with the fight. Most of the survivors are in the dungeon, and it's pretty clear that we are, but we've been free to do as we wish, which is odd. Zilly nearly died all on his own, and admittedly I've come close to death several times while down here, so perhaps the zombies don't actually need to interfere to ensure our deaths. I managed to procure a golden key, and I opened a single locked golden chest with a shadow key and a handgun, which isn't great. I don't think the arms dealer has even spawned once in this world, and so I have exactly 0 bullets. Not exactly the best loot I could have asked for, but one more golden key later and I found myself with a magic missile, perhaps one of the most busted pre-hard mode weapons where PvP is concerned. At this point, we've gone through just about all the dungeon, and some of the others are struggling to get keys, but Zilly acquired 2 teleportation potions and shared one with me. So I thought it might be fun to use one of them rather than hang around the dungeon where I'm sure zombies will appear at any moment. All right, where are we going, buddy? I'm doing it. Yo! Jungle. Okay. This might be a good place to be, as I could collect some stuff for things like the blade of grass or jungle armor, but that could take a little while, and I found an explosive trap. These things are automatic death traps for those who trip them, and I'm looking at it with a devious grin. I could remain a survivor and probably help the group all the way to the Wall of Fresh and beat the challenge, but the zombies, I've really been struggling. Now that I have good dungeon gear though, and I know the location of the other survivors, if I became a zombie, there's a good chance that we could kill a few more of them. And maybe, just maybe, the zombies could turn the tide and win the event. So, I think it is time to join the zombie horde. Join me, my zombie brethren, to the dungeon! And so here I go with my zombie brethren to the dungeon to slay all the survivors who might be hanging around there. However, we have a problem. See, zombies are not big fans of sunlight and have a tendency to burn. That's why there's all this wall here. It prevents us from burning in the sunlight, but walls hadn't been built across the entire surface quite yet. This slowed us down tremendously. And several of our zombie brothers, well, they died to the sunlight as we made our way there. Sometimes we had to just brave the sun in order to make some actual progress, and despite actually making it to the dungeon, it came at such a great cost that the whole journey might not have been worth it. After all, Tak, one of the original 5 who died earlier in the challenge, managed to get there faster than anyone else, and so I wormholed to him, and we set up a campfire and chairs to assist in fast regeneration before heading into the dungeon to finish off the survivors who were still down there. We managed to put together a bit of a crew, ready to take down the survivor menace, but we had another problem. Spikes. We were taking damage and dying to the spikes, and that thinned our numbers once more. But I suppose all the struggling and effort ended up being futile, because as we searched and searched, we were not able to find a single survivor. My knowledge of their location was now useless. It took us so long to get here, and now we'll have to find them all on our own instead of, well, in the dungeon. And we'll have to make sure that we do it before they beat the Wall of Fresh. That's the only boss remaining after all, and it's the only one they need to kill to beat the challenge. But not all hope is lost. We checked the map, and the arms dealer had moved in to some house underground. Somebody had made the mistake of making suitable housing. We have a location, we have a horde, and we have the night. We made it to the dungeon and sprinted to the location of the house, and sure enough, we found some survivors. Oh, we got one, we got 2!
What the hell?
Get him! Ah! All right.
Get him.
Okay, did they go to spawn? I'm gonna check. All right, nope. Ah, dang. Being able to teleport away really does make it quite difficult to kill people. We might have to actually find their base or else kill them so fast they don't have time to respawn. We almost took down Dr. Millie, but killing them as they fight the wall might be our only option at this point. That way they can't flee. Before heading to the underworld, however, we decided to break a larva and summon Queen Bee for some more gear, as some of my zombie brethren are pretty lacking in the gear department. There's also been a change to the mod to make it so you can't just summon Queen Bee at the start and get everybody killed. I assume it works, though nobody actually tried it, surprisingly enough. We found our way into the underworld and we were starting to make some preparations and searching for the survivors. But to my surprise, someone broke a Crimson Heart and the brain spawned soon after.
The brain to the right, yep.
Yep.
Brain, they're fighting brain to the right.
Has it been summoned?
Yeah, it's been summoned.
Oh, it's
it's
been
dead.
defeated.
That was fast, they have good gear.
Yeah, they do.
Mainly
but
assorted, I think.
they might stick around. We continued on, hoping the survivors might be hanging around the Crimson, sorting their gear after having killed the brain. They have got to be considering killing the wall and could be distracted, so I rushed ahead of the group into the Crimson to see if maybe we finally had them cornered. Hello, friends. Oh, that was fast. But that's okay. I didn't need to win the battle. I just needed to confirm that they were there, so my zombie horde would also know where to go, and sure enough, they were ready, and the squad went in for the kill.
I've come to exact my revenge.
Is this all of them then?
Might be.
Murdered
I'm using magic
by
power.
me, Sparrow, and Thorben.
Coming for you.
Spare us.
Oh my goodness,
Ow,
their
ow.
defense, man.
And it's over.
Okay. So one thing you might not know is that the zombies have 0 defense, no matter what accessories or armor they have equipped. This was done so zombies could easily be killed, forcing them to rely more on horde mentality to get a kill, either that or a creative usage of traps or different weapons. But this is the first time anybody has made so much progress in the game with this mod, and we have learned that without any defense, fighting people with molten armor, even with good weapons, is more or less pointless. Our only hope would be to set up an explosive trap or something, because it doesn't matter how many of us are there if we can only deal 1 damage apiece, and they can kill us in 2 or 3 shots. So that's unfortunate. This is a custom mod I had made. So there's more tweaks that will need to be made, including having zombies defense instead of bringing it to 0 and allowing zombies to teleport to each other's locations freely. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. In the meantime, the survivors summoned the Wall of Fresh after killing everybody in the Crimson, and so we zombies rushed to the underworld as fast as possible. But in just about exactly 1 minute's time, they had already killed the boss and claimed victory over the event. Well done to the survivors. Makes me kind of regret choosing to be a zombie, because now I'm a loser. But you can't always win, especially when you're me. Thanks for watching this video, and if you'd like to see how things went down during the first zombie apocalypse with my fellow content creators, you can watch that right here.